turnout. I'm very happy for that. And welcome to, oh, sorry, this is not on. There we go, better? Yes, that's better. Okay. Hello, let's start again. Hello, and welcome to No One Would Weep, a lecture recital on British composer Gerald Finzi's Earth and Air and Rain, a song cycle of 10 songs for baritone, voice, and piano. We are happy that you've decided to join us on this journey. My name is Alfredo Beltrán, and I am the baritone section leader here at the Cathedral of St. John with the Cathedral Choir. I am assisted tonight by my good friend, pianist Clay Austin, who will also share in some of the talking duties tonight. Over the next hour, we will journey together not through a specific location, but instead through happiness and hope, to confusion and doubt, to despair and anguish, and eventually to acceptance. It will take a while before we get to that last part, and we all might not get there at the same time. But once we do, I assure you that we will be on this journey together no matter what. Without further ado, let us commence forth.
British composer Gerald Finzi is best remembered today for his art songs, often compared to the likes of Sir Edward Elgar, Ray Vaughan Williams, and Ivor Gurney. Finzi was highly proficient in setting poetic texts to music, particularly those of one of his favorite poets, Thomas Hardy. Facing rejection and loss at a young age, Finzi admired Hardy's poetic themes of nature and mankind's futility to go against them. After the death of his mentor, Ernest Farrar, to World War I, Finzi became a lifelong pacifist and self-described man of nature. Themes of nature, time, and the futility to go against them infuse Finzi's works, including the song cycle Earth and Air and Rain, which you will hear later tonight. The dual impacts of World War I and the poetry of Thomas Hardy on Gerald Finzi reveal how Earth and Air and Rain became the composer's testament of the place of mankind in a confusing, futile, yet mysterious world. Following the war and the death of his mentor, Finzi became fixated on British sounds from British composers, even going as far as not attending a concert if it did not have at least one selection of British music on it, as a sort of backlash to the war. Finzi was interested in hearing the folk-like sound elements in the pieces from fellow British composers to see how these composers were adjusting to a Britain post-World War I. Pieces such as Gurney's The Trumpet for choir began to show the loss of innocence in daily British life. Finzi responded to this wave with his composition Requiem da Camera for baritone, choir, and chamber orchestra in 1924. Requiem da Camera became one of Finzi's first pacifist testaments in music, but it would be far from his last.
In the 1920s, Finzi attempted to set several of Hardy's complex poems to music. Most of the music of this time period, both vocal and instrumental works, remained either incomplete or unpublished until after Finzi's death in 1956, mostly due to Finzi's ongoing musical developments. This would be the case with the song set by Footpath and Still, Opus 2 from 1925. The song set for baritone features several of the same agnostic views that appear in Earth and Air and Rain. A decade later, but on a part of Finzi, these songs lack the melodic qualities of writing seen in his later career. Finzi scholar Stephen Banfield points this out, saying that Finzi stayed too close to the metrical systems put forth by Hardy, causing him to write music that was hardly intriguing or interesting. Finzi wrote Earth and Air and Rain between 1928, the year Hardy died, and 1932, though it was not published until 1936. As an avid reader of Hardy's poetry, Finzi had an extensive amount of works to draw from to compile the plot of the song set. Using Hardy's real-life experiences with his first wife, Emma Gifford, as a backdrop for the song set, much, yet not all, of the source material for Earth and Air and Rain comes from what is widely known as Hardy's Emma poems, written in and around the time of Emma's death in 1912. Despite Finzi's insistence that Earth and Air and Rain was merely a set of songs for baritone, Finzi nonetheless created a plot to the song set, bringing to life the interconnected themes of nature and time shared between them. As a set, Earth and Air and Rain becomes a cyclic journey, with hope and happiness in the first song, Summer Schemes, giving way to doubt and confusion in the third song, Waiting Both, to questioning of the status quo in the fifth song, So I Have Fared, to desolation and loss in the eighth song, The Clock of the Years, and finally to acceptance of the loss of innocence in the ninth song, In a Churchyard.
Fear not, we're getting to the music. The first song of the set, Summer Schemes, sets the stage for an invigorating journey of what is to come in life. Our protagonist, an unnamed man who remains unnamed throughout the set, tells of an unnamed woman of the joy and happiness they will share together on life's journeys. Staying true to both Hardy's and Finzi's passion for nature, the song extols nature as being the backdrop of the couple's future joys and hopes. The man speaks of water cascades, ferns, and birds being called gracefully to the rolling hills. Finzi represents the rejuvenation of life and nature in the music through the ascending eighth note pattern in the opening prelude, which I will play for you briefly. This playful pattern repeats numerous times throughout the piece, providing a steady flow over the independent vocal line, representing the passing of time as well as the invigoration of nature. The second song of the set, When I Set Out for Lioness, is about a man setting off on a 100-mile journey to the town of Lioness, set up by a prelude in the piano that evokes similarities to the marching prelude of Ralph Vaughan Williams' The Vagabond from his song cycle, Songs of Travel. The song sets the environment of the man's journey, about which he is excited, yet also cautious. The song's second verse is where the man questions what he will find in Lioness, and how he will be changed as a result of his journey. In the third verse, with the return of the marching music from the beginning of the song, the man returns from Lioness, but it is never revealed what the man found there. Instead, the tone of text and music indicates that the man found fulfillment in his journey and has been changed for the better as a result. In reality, Hardy based the text of this song on his real-life journey to Cornwall to inspect a church where he first met his future wife, Emma, as an unexpected result of this journey. Please hold your applause for the end of the song set.
Summer calls again, her little fifers to these hills. We'll go, we to that arched vein of leafage, where they prime their bills. Before they start to flood the plate, the quaver's minim shakes, and to shall I sing? spring. But who shall say what may not pass before that day? And we shall see the water spring from chinks the scrubby copses crown. And we shall trace their creeping to where the cascade tumbles down, and sends the bobbing groves a swing, and ferns not quite but almost drown. But who shall sing of what another moon will bring? When I set out for Lyonnais, 100 miles away, the Rhine was on the spray, and starlight lit my lonesome days. When I set out for Lyonnais, 100 miles away. What would be chance at Lyonnais while I should sojourn there? No prophet durst declare, nor did the wisest wizard guess. What would be chance at Lyonnais while I should sojourn there? When I came back from Lyonnais with magic in my eyes, all mute with mute surmise, by radiant, rare, and fathomless. When I came back from Lyonnais with magic in my eyes.
I'll just say here, enjoy that happiness now because it doesn't last. With that said, the third song of the set, Waiting Both, is where the hope of a bright tomorrow seen in summer schemes begins to give way to a harsher reality. In this song, the unnamed man has a conversation with a star, where the star asks about the man's purpose on earth. The man responds that his purpose is to sit on earth until his time is up, or his change comes. It is revealed in the end of the song that the star's purpose is also the same. Finzi makes use of the piano's high and low ranges simultaneously to simulate a celestial-like aura in this song. And a further note of that, the sound there of space is not like the trumpeting sound that we are used to from Jupiter, from Gustav Holst's The Planet, or even the theme from Star Trek. This is a far more quizzing and vicarious solution, if you will, to describing what is the mystery of night. Furthermore, Waiting Both has some of the longest instrumental interludes of the song set, with numerous lento measures interspersed between the dialogue exchanges of the man and the star. With these effects, Finzi draws on time passing by, not out of joy or hopefulness, but instead out of necessity, as the slow and drudgingly reminder that time is not coming back.
Just so the star says, so mean I, so mean I.
Remember those last chords very well. They will come back soon. The fourth song, The Phantom, is about the man going to the British seaside, where it is assumed by others watching him that he looks at nothing at all day long and leaves without doing anything, just staring at nothing. As the song progresses, the man is revealed to be staring at happy memories of his past, particularly the image of a beautiful young woman who rides on horseback on the beach. The memory of the horseback rider is evoked throughout the song by the lively syncopated rhythms found in both the piano and voice lines, meant to imitate the galloping of the horse. While the majority of the song is marked by this galloping motive, the middle section, during which the motive stops, reveals the joys of the past to be only recollections of what once was. Thus, even in a song set up to be brisk, such as Summer Schemes, Finzi writes this song to ultimately extol the sorrowful reality that the past is also still not coming back.
And looks at the sands and the seaward haze with moveless hands and face and gaze. Then turns to go. And what does he see when he gazes so? They say he sees as an instant thing, more clear than today, that sweet soft scene that once was in play by that briny green. Yes, notes always, warm, real, and keen, what his back ears bring. A phantom of his own figuring, of this vision of his they might say more. Not only there does he see the sight, but everywhere in his brain, day, night, as if on the air it were drawn was bright. Yea, far from that shore does he carry this vision of heretofore. A ghost girl rider, and though toil tried he withers daily, time touches her not, as she still rides gaily in his rapt thought on that shaggy and sheeny Atlantic spot. And as when first night draws rein and sings to the swing of the tide,
The fifth song, So I Have Fared, is the first of two songs in the set that questions the status quo and the establishment. This one highlights both Hardy's agnostic views on religion and Finzi's own troublesome relationship with religion, also identifying as an agnostic, despite coming from a Jewish heritage. The original title of Hardy's poem, which the words for this song come from, is After Reading Psalms 39, 50, etc., where in the Psalms, the psalmist David questions God about his existence on earth and God's will for him. The poem in turn encompasses this questioning stance, but only after our protagonist first describes his life as well-mannered and obedient, even ending each line with Latin biblical phrases. In the song, this is set up much like an Anglican chant, with blocked chords in the piano accompanying a vocal line that recites numerous words on a single note before cadencing to the end of each line. The block chords give way to a more melodic accompaniment in the middle of the song where the man begins to question his situation, but the block chords return for the final verse when the man openly questions the past prophets and their teachings. This time, though, the block chords are in a minor key with the vocal line in a low range, highlighting the man's realization that what he has been taught to do might be all wrong. The place of authority is further expanded in the sixth song, Rollicum Rorum, this time questioning society and politics. Finzi considered this song to be one of the worst songs in the set, possibly because the questioning in this song is presented as more of a comical joke instead of a serious retrospective like the previous song. Coming from the Hardy novel The Trumpet Major, the song talks of many things that won't happen in life, such as criminals always getting caught, rich men always giving to the poor, and husbands and wives always agreeing on matters. After each of the four verses, the comical statement that Boney, a reference to Napoleon Bonaparte, will march his men to London, references an old 19th century tease from parents to their children that if they didn't obey orders, they would face the wrath of Boney coming to London, thus making Boney into a sort of boogeyman. The irony of the inclusion of these statements in the song set, though, stems from conflict Europe had just endured in World War I. While Britain itself did not have any warfare on its soil during the Great War, World War II was on the horizon by the time this song set was written, lending a foreboding message that even the unthinkable could still happen, as it did so happen.
Simple was I, and was young, kept no gallant tryst I, even from good words held my tongue, quoniam tu fecist I. Through my youth I stirred me not, I adventure missed I, left the shining shrines unsought. Yet mededuxist I, at my start by Helicon, love nor little wist I, worldly less but footed on. Why? Suscepist I. When I failed at fervid rhymes, shall I said persist I? Tears I would add at times, meos posuist I. So I have fared through many songs, sadly little grist I bring by mill or anyone. At dead of night I call, go to prophets list I, which hath understood at all. Yea, quem elegist I. When lawyers strive to heal a breach and parsons practice what they preach, then Boney he'll come pouncing down and march his men on London town. Rollicum rodum toddlolorum, rollicum rodum toddlole, rollicum rodum toddlolorum, rollicum rodum toddlole. When justices hold equal scales and rogues are only found in jails, then Boney he'll come pouncing down and march his men on London town. Rollicum rodum toddlolorum, rollicum rodum toddlole, rollicum rodum toddlolorum, rollicum rodum toddlole. When rich men find their wealth a curse and fill therewith a poor man's purse, then Boney he'll come pouncing down and march his men on London town. Rollicum rodum toddlolorum, rollicum rodum toddlole, rollicum rodum toddlolorum, rollicum rodum toddlole. When husbands with their wives agree and maids won't wed from modesty, then Boney he'll come pouncing down and march his men on London town. Rollicum rodum toddlolorum, rollicum rodum toddlole, rollicum rodum toddlolorum, rollicum rodum toddlole.
The seventh song, To Lisby Brown, is much like The Phantom in reminiscing the past, but this one goes a step further in showing regret of past decisions. Hardy's text for this song has a clear rhyming scheme but lacks a consistent meter between verses and lines, with some lines being only a few words and other lines taking much more time to get through. As a result, Finzi writes this song without a defined time signature, instead allowing the text to define the changing meters. Despite the unevenness in the meter, the song is a straightforward tale of the man reminiscing about how wonderful Lisby Brown is, admiring her figure, stature, and character. Of note here is that Lisby Brown is the only character mentioned in the entire song cycle. As such, no one could assume Lisby Brown to also be the unnamed woman from The Phantom, and the rest of the song cycle, though this is never confirmed for sure. Throughout the reminiscing, it is subtly revealed that the man was never intimate with Lisby Brown, going as far as to say in the final verse that Lisby Brown would most likely not even remember him in the present. Once again, a song of harmless reminiscing is revealed to have a more sad reality in the end.
Dear Lisby Brown, where are you now, in sun, in rain? Or is your brow past joy, past pain? Dear Lisby Brown, sweet Lisby Brown, how you could sing, how you could sigh, how archly while in glad Lisby Brown. When Lisby Brown, who else had hair bay red as yours, or flesh so fair, bred out of doors, neat Lisby Brown. When Lisby Brown, you first began to be endeared by stealth to one, you disappeared. My Lisby Brown. So Lisby Brown, who else had hair never slow, you were a wife ere I could show love, Lisby Brown. Still, Lisby Brown, you son, they said the best of men when you were wed. Where went you then, oh Lisby Brown? Dear Lisby Brown, I should have thought girls ripen fast, and coaxed and caught you ere you passed. Dear Lisby Brown. Dear Lisby Brown, I let you sleep. Touch not a sign, touch never your lip with lip of mine. Lost Lisby Brown. So Lisby Brown, when on a day men speak of me as not, you'll say, and who was he? Yes, Lisby Brown.
Through the song set thus far, time has been moving forward. Whether it was swiftly, such as in summer schemes, or slowly and drudgingly, such as in waiting both, time still processed onward. That all changes in the 8th song, The Clock of the Years, when a foreboding spirit of time freezes the flow of time. While time's frozen, the spirit offers to bring back to life an unnamed woman, assumed to be the same one from the previous movements. This, in reality, reflected Hardy's desire to see her first wife, Emma Gifford, once again. Without hesitating to think of repercussions, the man agrees to the spirit's proposition. When the woman returns to life as a young woman, the man exclaims with glee to the spirit to leave her in that state forever. The spirit, however, rejects the man's plea and continues to de-age her all the way to infancy until finally she is nothing at all and in turn never existed. Finzi creates the tension of the scene through recitative in the opening passage, followed by key changes that ascend upward in pitch every beat as the woman is brought back to her former glory, only for it to descend back down once reality kicks in, resolving to crashing chords, accentuating the irreversible consequences of the man's selfish want. Finzi saves his most dramatic writing of the set for The Clock of the Years, and for good reason. At this point in the song set, the man reaches a point of no return, just like us, realizing he has violated the natural flow of time and must now face the consequences. Finzi thus delivers the harsh reality that the past cannot be undone, which can be synonymous with many things in life, including the swiftness of countries to go to war, such as in World War I, and the ongoing brewing conflicts as an aftermath.
With reality now unchangeable, the ninth song of the set, In a Churchyard, serves as the realization of a vastly different reality. This is portrayed as the man listens to a tale from a yew tree, which are synonymous with death, but are likewise synonymous of tranquility and shade, providing shade to gravestones. In the tale, the yew tree talks about the dead in the cemetery, and instead of a tale of doom and despair for the dead, though the yew tree describes the dead as being at peace and at ease. Through the tale, both Hardy and Finzi portray their beliefs regarding the ultimate fate of people. While people struggle to survive on earth due to their decisions, the dead are free of such struggles, and are thus allowed to be one with nature and the natural flow of time. Thus, as the yew tree puts it, no one would weep. Musically, Finzi represents this through the soft-paced flow of the song, coupled with an ever-present repeated bass line in the piano accompaniment, representing the moving of the tree's roots around the corpses. Finzi further shifts tonal centers numerous times, leading to the final wish from the dead that no outer force bother them from their rest. Unlike the declamatory religious statement of the trumpet sounding to raise the dead to victory, the dead here want no trumpet to herald them to a greater glory. Instead, they wish to leave the past behind and accept their change, much like the man and a star talked about back in Waiting Both. While The Clock of the Years brought the harshness of reality to light, In Churchyard serves as the soothing comfort that the dead are not in pain and in fact are better off than the living, since they are now one with nature.
A spirit flashed before my face. The hair of my flesh stood up. And the spirit said, I can make the clock of the years go backward, but am loath to stop it where you will. And I cried, agree to that, proceed. It's better than dead. He answered peace and called her up as last before him. Then younger she grew to the year she first had known her woman grown, and I cried, cease, 'cause that is good. It is enough, let her stay us always. But alas for me,
shook his head. No stop was there, and she weaned a child fair, and to babyhood. Still less in mean to my great sorrow became she slowly, and small till she was not at all in his checkless grief. And it was as if she had never been. Better I played, she were dead as before. The memory of her had lived in me, but it cannot now. And coldly his voice. It was your choice to mar the ordained. It is sad that so many of earth still in the flesh sound the youth, misjudge their lot, whom kindly earth secludes from view. They ride their diurnal round, each day spends some of ours in peerless seas, without jolt or bound or ache like ours. If the living could but hear what is heard, by my roots as they rest round the restful flock and the things said there. No one would weep. Alas, among the wise, they say, enlarged in scope, that no God trumpet us to rise. We truly hope. I listen to his strange tale in the mood that stillness brings, as I grow to accept as the day wore pale that view of things.
It is good to see that you are still here on this journey. Though in seriousness, it is truly good. This song set could have easily ended after the 9th song on a bittersweet note of the acceptance of reality. If we did this, though, we would neglect the purpose of the last song in the set, Proud Songsters, which serves as a final testament on life. With only 2 paragraphs of text, this song differs from the other 9 with the noticeable absence of any specific figure narrating the text, namely the man from the other songs, along with a prolonged piano introduction independent of a vocal line. We never know what happens to the man after the 9th song and what he meant by accepting the different view of things. That resolution, however, is not as important as bringing our journey round circle to our own closures. The text of this song is an epilogue to the previous text, talking of how birds continue to live in the bushes, how after them will be replaced by other birds, and so on. Once again, the syncopated motive of time passing by is used in the piano introduction, which is imitated later by the vocal line, creating an objective picture of nature as it exists in the now. This motive gives way to a hymn-like homophonic texture for the 2nd paragraph of text, which both Hardy and Finzi use to declare that how no matter what happens on the earth, the particles of grain, earth, air, and rain will remain constant in an ever-shifting world. As a final gesture, Finzi offers a postlude to make the listener believe that the song will end in the comfortable key of D major, the starting key of the set, only to insert a deceptive cadence in the last few measures of the piece to serve as a reminder of what has happened before and the uncertainty of what is to come. Before performing our final song, we wish to thank the staff and congregation of the Episcopal Cathedral of St. John for allowing us to use the space for tonight's recital, as well as the Episcopal Diocese of the Rio Grande, particularly the Right Reverend Michael B. Hun, Bishop, the Very Reverend Christina Malden, Dean of the Cathedral, Canon Dr. Maxime Thévenot, Director of Cathedral Music and Organist, and Edmund Connolly, Assistant Organist, and who is in charge of tonight's recording. Likewise, we wish to thank the members of the Cathedral Choir here at the Cathedral for their support, as well as our friends and families for their continued support through this all. You have any last things you want to mention before we do this?
Just that it's a pleasure to play beautiful music for such a wonderful crowd of people, and how grateful I am to all of you for showing up.
Lastly, before we end this out here, as many of you all know, it takes numerous expenses to put on a performance like this, such as for musical coachings, research, securing this venue, printing programs, advertising, and instrument tuning, to name a few. Your financial support will help to offset these costs, but will also help ensure that we can keep doing performances like these in the future. As some of you know, my personal musical ambitions include eventually getting a doctorate in music to further study British art songs, particularly those of Gerald Finzi, with the hope to eventually get the chance to study in Britain itself, to experience firsthand how the landscape and people influence these songs. Certain financial setbacks have delayed this eventual step in my career, but if you wish to help fund said ambitions, or just even to help us keep performing these pieces in the future, we encourage you to give a donation today or in the future towards this. You can donate in cash or check, made payable to me, Alfredo Beltrán, to the collection basket that we have by the door, or you can donate online. We have different avenues for you to donate online, which are listed at the collection basket. Finally, we want to thank all of you for joining us tonight. We know you have many options of what to do on a Saturday night, but we are very grateful that you chose to come onto this journey today. And whether you are, well, we hope that you are indeed a changed person from this experience, and that this music has impacted you in a way that only music can. But likewise, if you are still on said journeys, or if you don't even know if you are on one yet, we hope that you find the resolution that you may need to continue forward. And with that said, here is the last song, Proud Songsters. Thrushes sing as the sun is going, and the finches whistle in ones and pairs, and as it gets dark, loud nightingales in bushes pipe as they can when April wears, as if all time were there.
buds of 12 months growing, which a year ago were less than twain. No finches were, nor nightingales, nor thrushes,